All right, we got the StreamYard says I have two viewers. I see three people in the chat. What is this? Some type of mathematical trickery. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Monday Night Chill Stream. I sped this up. I don't know why I picked the time at random. Now it says I have one viewer. They're just messing with my head at this point. I sped this up to broadcast time, preempted myself because Bob Paxson, who's probably a boomer and can't stay up late anymore because it's not 1968. Asked, he's like, why are you streaming so late? I'm like, I don't know. I wanted to think about what I was going to say, but let's be honest. I don't think about what I'm going to say a whole lot before I say it. You know what I mean? A lot of what I do is very extemporaneous. It isn't deeply thought out, which makes it kind of fun and interesting because you don't know where I'm going to go with this, but also I can go off into the weeds and get lost with shit. So anyway, it's Monday. What is it? November 16th, and what is going on? I titled the stream. I got the title "Luxurious Oppression" from a guy I follow on Twitter. I don't know that he made it up, or maybe it's just a social media term. But the guy who wrote it, and as soon as he tweeted it, he's a sports ball guy. I don't retweet him much. But this was a guy I knew from back in the days in Uber, who was a Jersey guy. He's half Polish, half Italian, and he has a lot of family in law enforcement. But anyway, he does a sports ball podcast that no one on this channel would be interested in. But anyway, so this guy, he talked about, he occasionally dabbles like a little bit into politics and culture, but not a whole lot because it's a quagmire and he wants to stay with the sports stuff. But the sports stuff is dying, like literally dying. You know what I mean? And that is probably a good thing for America. But anyway, luxurious oppression. When people who are living upper middle class lives claim that they're oppressed, you know what I mean? That there's like the daughters of the Jewish daughters of like CIA officers who travel the globe, whatever, on the government dime and then claim they're oppressed, that kind of thing. Upper middle class Asian females who cry that, I don't know, people stare at them funny when they're in fucking, whatever the high-end fucking retail stores they're in. So, but these people talk about oppression and the fucking, and how difficult life is, and it's the inversion of reality, of course. And this is really, really common. But right now, to be honest, that's where a lot of us are living. We're living in luxury relative to where we're going to live. I've said this before. I was saying this on Jonathan Paul's channel the other night, where I did a very good rant, which actually was halfway in my head, the Hitler coin rant, which was funny as fuck. You're not going to say that it wasn't funny. And should I ever have a lot of spare time, I will actually create a cryptocurrency called Hitler coin. I don't know what repercussions that will have, but it will be a hilarious fucking joke, and I will be laughing my ass off. But Jonathan Pohl, welcome to the show. I see you in the chat, but you don't really understand crypto and the 21st century economy. So you got to get hipper with that. Everybody's in this 1930s mindset. We're going to be put in gulags. We're going to be put in concentration camps. You're not going to be put in the gulags and concentration camps. This isn't the 1930s. We're headed towards the 2030s, and it's going to be different. History does not always repeat itself, but it frequently rhymes. There will be some similarities, and there will be many differences. But you guys are stuck in this, every general is fighting the last war. You guys are still, looking at a political paradigm that is a 20th century paradigm. And the 21st century paradigm is going to be very, very, very different. And it mostly involves the super rich getting super richer and you getting poorer and poorer. And a lot of people on the dissident right and even on the dissident left are in for a lot of rude shocks. The left, the far left, that is actually non-white. I'm not talking about Jews. I'm talking about the brown people and the black people. They're going to be displaced, and they're going to get less gibs, and they're not going to like that at all. And the blacks who've been getting most of the gibs are going to have to give it up to the Latinos, who are going to get more and more gibs because they represent more votes. They're not going to like that shit at all. And the right, which is, most of which are people who have no fucking practical experience in the real world. The dissident right is they are beyond. Thank God I have nothing to fucking do with them, but they correctly perceive Jewish elite power, and they correctly perceive that they will never be allowed into that elite, and they don't like that. And they think they can change it by, I don't know, whatever fucking stupid shit they think they can change it by complaining a lot. But the Jews who run the world are not your parents, and they don't give a fuck. They really do hate you, and they play hardball. You don't know this. You're going to find out. You're going to find out as your financial status sinks lower and lower, and you have to come down to my fucking level, you ain't gonna like that at fucking all. And the darkening of America, as the white majority becomes a white plurality, as the tax base shrinks and shrinks and shrinks, like I was saying on Jonathan Paul's channel, they're going to have to steal more and more and more from lower and lower and lower, and you're not going to like what that looks like, and that's going to have weird effects on politics. One of the best things, the other thing I read on Twitter that was very good was from that kid Nico that I follow, and I retweet him a lot. But he pointed out that Trump is not a Zionist because if he was, we would not be having all these problems with BLM and the cities burning, and we would already be at war with Iran. And I was in a room full of black females the other day, and somebody said, "Who did you vote for?" And I said, "I haven't voted since fucking 2004." And I said, at the time I didn't see it because I was not a Barack Obama fan. I said, but Obama kept us out of war with Iran, and so. I said, if you guys ever see him, tell him I said thanks, and so that's, but that's for people who think that there's political solutions, that think that there can be a way out of this. There's not going to be any way out of this, and at all, you know what I mean? And if people think there's going to be violence, there's not going to be no fucking violence. You people who talk about violence literally like they know nothing about what they're talking about. They just watch shit on YouTube or whatever social media platforms they watch, and they don't have a whole lot of direct experience with gunfire or anything else. And you could fairly safe dismissing all of their opinions and every one of their predictions. Just dismiss it. Hitler coin would be great. This would be. I'm not kidding you. This would. What I was trying to explain to Jonathan Pohl is, in the same way that the federal government had to pump up the Communist Party, make it look bigger than it was, even though it was mostly in like New York and Philly and a few other places, they would have to pump that up, and you would load up on money. You would make millions and tens of millions. But that's the how to. High finance like that is outside the realm of historians, at least political historians. An economic historian might be a different story. Speaking of economics history, let's do a history lesson about things that happened to James. About a month ago, I got conned out of 5.86 Bitcoin. I made no secret of that. I told everybody that. At the time, that Bitcoin was worth $68,000 or so. How much is Bitcoin worth today, James? Well, you remember I said I lost $2 million, and you're like, what are you talking about, you lunatic? You didn't lose $2 million. You lost $68,000, Well, Bitcoin today, like right before the show, is $16,700. $16,700 times 5.86 comes to approximately $97,500. So last month, I lost 68 grand. I was robbed of 68 grand. As of this month, it's nearly $100,000. And I knew that was going to happen. I didn't know that this exact number was going to happen, but number go up. NGU, number go up. Now, I'm not going to explain why that is. I know nobody here is a Bitcoin person or whatever, and I don't fucking care. And it's not my job to explain to you what the fucking world looks like or why it works the way it works. Hey, Judas Flychai, how's it going, buddy? Welcome to the show. So what's going to happen in this coming year is going to defy all of your understanding of everything. And I don't give a fuck. I'm no longer concerned with 1930s politics or the ideas around the 1930s or 40s and 50s, because that's all in the past. These are all failed political ideas, all of them across the entire spectrum. And not one fucking thing matters. Not one thing matters. What's going to matter, or will you have the ability to outrun diversity? Will you have the ability to escape whatever fucking circumstances they design for you and get into something better? And if you don't have that, you're fucked. I don't give a shit what your ideology is, and I don't give a shit what your skin color is. And if you don't understand how to do that, that's your fucking problem. I, James Vanos, was not put on this earth to solve anybody's fucking problems except my own. I'm really not here to solve anybody's problems. You have to solve your own fucking problems. Okay? And you have to deal with your own fucking failures and your own fuck-ups the way I do. Now, most of you haven't had to do that yet, but when you have to do that, please put a camera on yourself so I can laugh at you fucking flailing. All right? And I remember, I didn't used to talk about this because I go on other people's channels, and you can't mention like unhappy things because people get sad. They get sad, and they can't hear a sad story because, I don't know, they're going to put their head in a fucking oven. My father was mentally ill. He fought in World War II, and he was a sergeant in the Third Army and was awarded the Bronze Star for Valor. But he was mentally ill, and I didn't know all that stuff when I was a kid. And when I was a kid I guess I was 5 or 6 years old, I was in an orphanage for about a year or so. So was my older brother, my younger sister. And when I was in the orphanage, I remember I was thinking about this because I was thinking about 70s music, and I was thinking about Fleetwood Mac and shit. And how does Fleetwood Mac have to, what the fuck does that have to do with a mentally ill parent in an orphanage? Well, this is the way my brain works. So I was listening to Fleetwood Mac, and it didn't sound as good as I remembered it. Like when I was a kid, I'm like, that doesn't sound that good. It didn't sound terrible, but it didn't sound good. But it made me think of other 70s songs. And when I was a kid in the orphanage, there was some social worker that nicknamed me the Cisco Kid. I don't know. I have no fucking idea why. I know I had a couple of fights when I was in the orphanage. Like my second, I think it was my second day there, my third day there, I fought this Spanish kid who, they used to make you line up to get out of your pajamas and get clothes for the day. And they would give you whatever clothes fit you. You had to know your sizes. You eventually had to know your sizes. And they took the clothes that I had, obviously when I came in, and they laundered them. And then a day or two later, or whatever, they gave them to some other kid. And, you know, like, you're only there for like 2 or 3 days. You don't know what the rules are. And I'm like, hey, give me that shirt. That's my shirt. And the kid's like, no, I'm not, you know, he didn't want to give me the shirt. And they started fighting with him. I started beating him up. And then they pulled me out of line, and they fucking, I mean, they didn't do anything terrible to me, but, you know, they made it real clear that those aren't your clothes. You know, nothing is yours. You take what we give you, you know. And this is controlled custody. When you're a 5-year-old kid, you don't know what the fuck that is. And all you people that talk shit about gulag, blah, 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 you've never been in controlled custody. You have no fucking idea what you're talking about. You've never been separated from your family. Luckily for me, I had this happen when I was a kid. And you have to, part of the reason why I am the way I am is I've had to, way back then, due to circumstances beyond my control, I had to become self-reliant. I had to become resourceful because I had no family and no one to fucking help me. There was a long time in my life where I felt sorry for myself that this had happened to me, but I look at it now and I realize, shit, that's fucking lucky because most of the people I see in social media, most of the people I know in IRL, they're weak as fuck. Everything they have was handed to them by someone else, either by the government or their families. And they can't fucking think, and they can't do a fucking thing, and they can't make any decisions under stress. Well, why not? Because you never had to be fucking self-reliant. You never had to be resourceful. Lucky you. You don't think that, well, you don't think that's lucky you. It's lucky and it's unlucky. Because everything changes the way you think it is. Like, at the time you see it one way, and sometime later you see it a different way, and then sometime later still you see it a different way, even more than the first two shattering insights or whatever. So this is the way it is. So I was listening to the song Cisco Kid by the band War, which I knew that the singer was black, but I didn't realize the whole band was black. I just saw the video on YouTube. They're all black dudes. I didn't know I thought it was just the singer was black. Goes to show what I know. But anyway, so that's that. Part of the reason why I am what I am, and I have to rely on myself, and I have to, what I think and what I believe has to be super fucking clear, and I have to have absolute confidence in it because there's no one else to have confidence in. There's no one to put your trust in other than yourself. Now, there's good parts of that, there's bad parts of that. Obviously, the bad part is you, like a fucking retard, send your fucking Bitcoin out to a fucking gangster in Russia, and now you're fucking not going to be a millionaire for a few more years. But the upside is I have a much better life than most other people because I'm not a fucking simp, and I'm not fucking constantly wondering what I should think or which fucking opinion I should hold, because I know exactly what opinions I should hold, you know, my own. And there's people who don't a lot of people don't understand that. Some subscribers to this channel and some other people. And I was in a warehouse, aircraft parts warehouse the other day, and it's just on the weekend it's only one guy in the warehouse, and there's a Spanish guy there. Nice kid. I knew his brother when his brother worked there years ago, and he's all alone in the warehouse, so he can do whatever he wants. And he's listening to some rap song where the rapper's like, N-bomb this, N-bomb that, fuck the police, blah, 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 blah. I know what the fuck. They all sound like fuck the police to me. And so I go in, I grab my piece, and you have to sign it out, and blah, 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 blah. And I know I'm friendly with the guy. And I said, hey, how's it going? I said, you can't listen to that when anybody else is around. He's like, no, I can't listen to it. I said, it's so funny. I said, people use that word all the time. I said, but you can't use it, this and that. And so he starts with we got into a conversation about life in the hood, and he's a Spanish dude, and he figures, well, he's Spanish and I'm white, so he knows the hood and I don't know the hood. And I just fucking, I said, listen, I will say whatever I have to say in public. You know what I mean? I will say Black Lives Matter. I will say diversity is our strength. I will pay lip service to any fucking thing when I have to. When I have to. Right? Everyone that pretends on Twitter, I'm not going to do this and I'm not going to do that, prove it, you cocksucker. Prove it. Show me video of you doing that. Because otherwise you're a lying cunt. And I know you're a lying cunt. I mean, I know you're a lying cunt to begin with, because most of the world is lying cunts. But I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to take the vaccine, and I won't wear a mask. Yeah, show me. I could fucking type any fucking thing I want on social media. So, go be fucking brave somewhere else, you fucking piece of shit. Phony fucking courage on social media. Give me a fucking break. But anyway, so I'm talking to this kid, and he's like, well, you don't know what the hood's like. And I fucking flipped on him, you know what I mean? And my fucking hand to God, he ended up with his fucking, up against the fucking wall. And I said, you motherfucker. I said, when white people fucking flip out, when we fucking chimp out, I said, we're going to fucking redraw fucking maps. I said, entire continents are going to fucking burn. Every one of you cocksuckers would fucking starve. I said, without fucking Section 8, you'd be homeless. Without fucking EBT, you'd fucking starve. And without that benefit card, you'd never get fucking medical care. You'd be fucking dead in the street. And he's like, I pay taxes. He's like, I work, I pay taxes. And he's a nice kid. But he wants to play this role where I'm dark-skinned and I know the hood, and you're light-skinned and you don't know the hood. Trust me, motherfucker, I've already forgotten more about the fucking hood than you will ever learn. Okay? You think because your third cousin knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who got shot, you think you know what gunfighting is like. I've been stuck up at gunpoint. I've been shot at. I fought off strong on fucking robbery attempts by fucking dindus in the fucking projects. You know what I mean? Those motherfuckers threw chairs off the fucking roof of buildings to try and stop the car in the middle of the street so their buddies could come out and just fucking surround the car. I've been through all of that shit. I've been through shit you only fucking seen in movies. Okay? But with that and $2.50, you could get a fucking ride in the New York City subway. With all my experience and $2.50, you could get a ride in the New York City subway. So fucking what? And most of the time, when brown people tell me, oh, Whitey, you don't know the hood. I'm like, really? Tell me. Give me this fucking ghetto wisdom, you melanin-enhanced fucking guru. And they usually end up saying something like this. The government allows it to happen. Yeah, the government allows it to happen because nobody gives a shit. But the question is, why do you behave that way in the first place? That they don't comprehend. What do you mean? Why are you shooting each other, selling poison to each other, raping and killing each other? Why are you doing that? The government wants it to happen. No. The government comes in after all this is over. The police come in after all this shit is over. Why are you doing it in the first place? They don't have an answer. Right? They don't know. Yeah, nobody gives a fuck. The police don't give a fuck. Fucking die. We'll pick up the body in the middle of the street, fucking less paperwork. Politicians don't give a fuck. They don't understand that. Now, if somebody actually tries to do something, then it's police brutality and racism. They really, they have no fucking understanding. I asked this kid, I said, dude, fucking middle-aged white guys who work 6 days a week, do we piss on your fucking sidewalks? Do we sell crack? Do we shoot your fucking kids? Who's doing that? I said, you're doing that to your fucking selves. Well, nobody's stopping it. And what they're basically saying is brown people can't control themselves. And they need whitey to come in and control them and stop them. But we're supposed to do it somehow with hugs and nice words. And we're not supposed to apply actual force to fucking get these monsters under control. And they're fucking monsters. They're fucking monsters. If you go to my BitChute, which is, I got a link in my BitChute there. I put all them videos up there. I'm not going to put them up on YouTube because they'll just get fucking yanked one way or another. But these people are monsters. And when I try and tell, and listen, I even try and tell Spanish guys, like, listen, these people, like, you don't know how fucking bad they are. And they're like, well, they're not all that way. Like, they're just as liberal as fucking dopey white college kids. And these are like working class Spanish guys. They don't know it. I show them these videos and they can't compute it in their heads. But they're not all like that. Okay, you don't have the fucking time. You don't have the time and you don't have the experience base to tell who is like that and who isn't like that. Your best bet is to fucking avoid them like the plague. But, people don't want to see that. Okay, whatever. You walk around with your illusions. Walk around with your illusions and fingers crossed, nobody bursts them violently. And odds are on your side. But you know what? Every now and then you roll the fucking dice and it comes up snake eyes. So keep that in mind. Hey, Mrs. Assad, welcome. I sped up blame Bob Paxton for missing the first 29 minutes of the show because Bob Paxton, boomer that he is, has to have his glass of prune juice and take a nap soon. So I started early. Bob Paxton going to be pissed at me. Going to be very, very pissed at me. All right, I got notes. I have all kind of notes. This is show prep like you wouldn't believe the amount of show prep I'm doing. Wait, let's do that. Let's stand by. Okay. What if I hit share screen? I'm loving the fucking Bitcoin memes. Right? This is like, what's cooler than this? This one of my favorite memes. Here you go. This is one of the best Bitcoin memes ever. This guy here is Peter Schiff. He's a big gold bug. He's like, gold, gold, gold. Buy gold, buy gold, buy gold. And he's, so what's the meme, right? In 2012, Bitcoin was worth $1. Gold was worth $1,700. In 2020, he's older. He's got white hair. Gold is still worth $1,700 and Bitcoin is now worth $9,000. Here we are at the end of 2020. Now he's an old man. Gold is worth $1,800 and Bitcoin is worth $16,000. So he's an actual meme and we love mocking this guy. Although they say secretly he's collecting this bot. He's a big Bitcoin guy behind the scenes, him and his son. I don't know if that's true or that's not true, but he is the most public advocate against, who's a big financial guy who's against Bitcoin. But these are the type of memes that we generate because we're right and you're wrong, and it's going to be fun. 2021 is the year we ride the bull. It's absolutely the year of riding the bull. Like I said, when I got conned out of my Bitcoin, it was worth $68,000. As of tonight, as of this broadcast, that same amount of Bitcoin, 5.86 Bitcoin, is worth $97,500. If you're not in this, in my opinion, and I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice, you are going to miss out on a life-changing opportunity. Yes, Peter Schiff. I don't know that that's really an 8-year. Karen Assad in the chat. I don't know if that's really eight years worth of photos, but it's a meme. You know what I mean? The memes are not always fair and honest, but they're designed to get a point across. So that's Peter Schiff, and that's. Well, here's the thing. You could buy $10 worth of Bitcoin. You could buy $50 worth of Bitcoin. You could buy tiny amounts and just step by step, dollar cost average your way in. There's tons of ways to do that. And, It's real easy. You can set it up to automatically deduct $25 a month from your checking account, and you could slowly build a position there. So, what I did, we all know what I did, right? I emptied my checking account. I took my emergency cash. I sold 3 guns, and I borrowed money from my bank. So when I borrowed money from my bank, I probably should have. I don't know if I borrowed more. We're going into a second lockdown. Maybe I borrowed the right amount. Maybe I could have borrowed more. I don't know. But I got to think of how am I going to make my rent and this fucking monthly payment. But when I finally got the loan, finally figured out getting a loan and getting that through, Bitcoin was at like 13.5, and it's like I said, it's at 16.7 now. So I'm definitely in profit. But Mrs. Assad, listen, if you think Bitcoin is high now, you are not going to believe where it's going to be this time next year. You are literally not going to believe it. It's going to be outside your ability to comprehend. And what's that going to look like? What's that going on? Wait, I'm going to wait for my other thing to open up. Judas Fly Chai, what are you talking about, bro? You were like super rich Iranian, Persian, mega whatever dude. Okay, so let's do another share screen. This is another one that's pretty good. Come on, where is it? Don't cancel a fucking share screen. You rat bastard. Chrome tab. All right, ready? There we go. This one's the best one. Now this is not 100% accurate. Okay, so in this, let's try doing it like this. Let me take me off the screen. What if I do that? Yeah, that's better. The less of me there is, the better. This black line is the actual line of paper Deutschmarks during the time of 1918 to like 1923, right? And at the beginning, or just after the end of World War I, one paper Deutschmark was the same as one gold Deutschmark. But very quickly, the value of the gold Deutschmark, which is this black line, rose because the value of the paper Deutschmark went to nothing. And by the end of the mid-1920s, you could get a billion, that's billion with a B, paper Deutschmark for one gold Deutschmark. Now, this actually happened in Weimar, Germany. What is this red line? The red line is the price of Bitcoin. Now, this is a bit whimsical. No one says this is going to happen exactly the same way. But this was done sort of in fun, a little bit tongue-in-cheek. But maybe not so much tongue-in-cheek, right? Maybe not so much tongue-in-cheek. What the value of the currency you have is may drop so dramatically you can't believe it. I put up that video earlier in the week of that garbage truck, sanitation truck, full of money in Venezuela. They're just literally a garbage truck full of money and nobody wants it. And I tried to show it to somebody and they said, well, that's not real money because they're American and they think the American dollar's super strong and is always going to remain super strong. And what happened to Venezuela is not going to happen to America. Well, my opinion is different, and you might want to hedge against that. Your absolute certainty, I don't think you really want to bet your life on that. So some kind of hedge, some kind of just in case you're wrong. And like I said, whether you think that's gold or whether you think that's real estate or fine art or I don't know what you think it is, but in order to avoid being at the back of a garbage truck and seeing them full of dollar bills and not giving a shit, maybe you might want to think, you know what, just in case, let me look at something else. That's my worldview. And like I said, all politics and all the political stuff is completely unimportant. All your political positions are nonsense. You know what I mean? Unless you're a paid flack, unless you're being paid by the Republican National Committee, the Democratic National Committee, nothing you say, like everything you say is literally worthless. So they're not looking out for you. You have to figure out how to protect yourself. And that the real protection, okay, is going to be a couple of things. It's going to be, don't get caught out in public in a Trump hat. Don't go to any public rallies, okay? Be aware of who's in your around your environment, and if they're getting excited, if they're getting agitated, you should probably leave, especially if they're non-white. You don't want to be around these people when it starts getting political. If somebody's having a bad day, you don't know what's driving them. I'll give you a great story. I meant to do a stream on this with stuff in the newspaper. But back, when was this? Still, Obama was still president. On Halloween 2011 or 2012, was it? When was it? I don't know, maybe 2013. I don't know when the fuck Obama was president. There was a guy from Scotland who was a soccer coach living in New York City. And he had bought into this the headline, New York City is the safest big city in America. The murder rate is down. Murder is the most serious crime, and our murder rate is the lowest it's been since 1968. So anyway, so he's he's some fucking limey, a Scot, actually. And he's going around the village and he's drinking. And he had a girlfriend nearby. So he's out. It's relatively late. It's like 1 o'clock. He decides to go see his girlfriend. She's living in a roommate kind of arrangement, like with other girls, other people in it. So he decides he doesn't want to stay with the girlfriend. Probably she's not. She's like, I can't have sex with you. You're going to be too loud. My roommates will hear, whatever. Who the fuck knows? And it's like 3 o'clock. And the bars in Manhattan used to close at 4 o'clock. And his friends are still out drinking, you know? So he decides to go join his mates for another pint. And he leaves his girlfriend's apartment and goes out into the street. And he's walking down the street. And he actually walks up to a guy who's already on the street corner. Happens to be a Mexican guy. And he says something. He turns and he says something to the guy like, hey, oi, mate, something, something. And he's on his smartphone, of course. And the Mexican guy takes out a huge fucking knife and cuts him on the side of the neck. And he backs up, and then a fight ensues. The Scottish guy, he's trying to do like one of them UFC takedown kind of deals, but he ends up pushing the Mexican up against the building, and the Mexican takes the knife and just boom, 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 plunges into this guy's neck and back, right? And now this guy keels over and fucking dies. At one point, the Mexican guy cut him so much, like his ear was almost off. And this guy now flops down, face, fucking ass over tea kettle there, face down on the fucking sidewalk, and he bleeds out. And the Mexican just fucking literally walks away, right? Just walks the fuck away. And other people, like other party goers and revelers later, that they see this, it's Halloween night, they think it's a fucking joke. They think it's a Halloween gag. Wow, that's very realistic. Except it wasn't realistic. The guy was dead. Now, so what happened? The Mexican guy the next day gets on a fucking, this is not supposed to be allowed to be happen post 9/11. He goes to JFK, he buys himself a one-way cash ticket to fucking Mexico City, and they let him do it. They don't trigger any alarms, TSA, nothing like that. They just let him go. So what? Mexicans are dangerous with knives. Well, there's a backstory to this. And they found out the backstory. Mexican dude's hanging out in that area, and he's going to bars, and he's trying to pick up a white girl, right? Because he wants to bang a white girl. And he had gone to whatever bar, and this is like the, like the village. There's a lot of college kids and stuff there. So he goes into a bar, and he's trying to hit on this white girl, and she's like, no thanks. And he's like, come on. And she's like, nope, no thanks. And he gets a little, like, whatever. I don't know how he gets out of line, but she asks her dopey college friends, none of them were street fight guys, or none of them fucking, and they kind of tell this guy, hey, listen, take a fucking hike, So he feels humiliated and, and made to leave, right? By this fucking white whore, who won't bang him, but she's probably going to bang those 7 other guys. No, which she's probably going to bang none of them, but whatever. Now he's fucking fuming, this fucking Mexican guy. He's burning inside, and he's walking around that area, drinking more, and he's got a knife on him, right? And then dopey Scottish soccer coach guy who is accustomed to being in the UK where there's like a pub culture, and you go meet your mates and you have a pint, and we're having pints and we're fucking singing songs, and it's, it's all entirely safe, and he believes that New York is safe because the newspaper tells him so, and the fucking TV tells him so. And they exchanged no words. Like there was nothing hostile. But this Mexican guy's looking for a fucking victim, and this dopey European fuck was the perfect victim, and that's that, you know. And I remember I remember reading that in the paper and actually cut the articles out of the paper because I wanted to I was like, here, look at this to somebody, and they didn't fucking want to pay attention. But it's rare that you find the backstory of that. But that's the backstory. You got someone who does not know what's dangerous and what's not dangerous. Their belief doesn't let them see the real threats in their environment. You have another person who is now, for whatever reason, in a mood to take out their pain and their agony on someone else. And you look like a likely fucking victim. You look like the perfect fucking victim. So that's what you got to watch out for in life, wherever you are. And this shit, because marijuana is now legal in 20 fucking states, who knows how people's lives go wrong, what fucking happens, their boss humiliates them, whatever. They find out their girlfriend's cheating on them. Who the fuck knows? They stepped in a pile of dog shit and now they want to take out their unhappiness on the nearest fucking whatever. And you walk by and guess what? Guess who's a fucking perfect victim? So you're going to have to be aware of that because that's going to happen more and more, all right? You're going to need to be aware of that. And try not to get yourself fucking fired from your job because you don't want to be like an Amazon shift worker or God knows whatever the fuck the future of the economy is going to look like. So that's that. And again, you don't have time to puzzle all this stuff out. You know what I mean? I know you know a guy who's a Mexican dude and he's a waiter in your restaurant and you've been going there for years and you're friends with him and you know his family. Yeah, I know. I get that. But the dude you meet at fucking 2 o'clock in the morning who's crazy fucking drunk is not that guy. And you have to stop. This is what white people don't get. A lot of white people don't get this. Like, but I went to college with a brown-skinned person and they were great. Yeah, except the fucking dindu at the street corner who's fucking coming towards your car trying to beg for fucking money, who's an insane crackhead, that's not your friend from college. That's a fucking crackhead and who knows what the fuck he's gonna do. And you don't have time to fucking sort through that. So just fucking avoid it like the plague. That's the only fucking reasonable way you can be. It's the only reasonable way people can be. And these dopey fucking magatards, oh, we're going to march in D.C., blah, 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 blah. And they're still high, right? They're still on the high, like, yeah, we did the Million MAGA March. But the whole group is gone now. And now you're surrounded 20-1, right? It's 20 Antifas or 20 BLMs against you. And guess what's going to fucking happen? Guess what's going to happen? They didn't teach about this in fucking college. Your parents didn't fucking explain it to you. Okay? You are the prey and they are the predators. And it's easy for them. When it's one-on-one, you'd be amazed at how fucking civilized and thoughtful these people can be. Because they don't have no advantage. But when instead of them one of you, they have enormous fucking advantage. And they can behave in any way they want. You don't understand that? None of these theorists understand that? And should you confront this in the real world, you're going to pay a very, very, very fucking high price. So, they need to make what? Stop the other day. Any fly urgent machine guy, I had no idea what they were saying. Sound problem? Can everybody hear me? The Fed here. Oh, robot. Well, hold on. Let's stop. Count. Let's do this. We'll do a bandwidth thing. I was doing it the other day on when I was on Saturday night. I had no bandwidth. Oh, I could close some tabs. That might help. Maybe this is better if I close the tab. Maybe it's just a resource thing with the PC. I don't know. Salvia. What is that? Flying reversion mission guide. Don't take that stuff. That's you're gonna stop poisoning your brain. Do yourself a favor. What else? So, yes, somebody else sent me this thing of Cardi B. I don't know if you guys know who Cardi B is. Cardi B is like a female rapper who's like, I call her Close the Parks. She's like all that like glorification of behavior. And this woman said the woman is black woman who's married, and she's married to a husband. Everything's legit. And she's like, here, she sent me an email, like, look at this. And it was reaction videos where these dopey white girls come home from college and they play Cardi B to their suburban moms. And it's not all whites, some whites and black mix. And you see these 40-something house crowds. They're trying to, people, they're like, yeah, I'm into it, popping or whatever. And then you hear the lyrics, Cardi B's lyrics are fucking like nuclear level disgusting. And then she mom's face freeze, like, and they don't know what to do. And somebody thinks that's fun, and this person's email like, oh, you have no sense of fun. You just hate the Jews all the time. I spend, I don't know, a reasonable amount of time hating Jews, but I don't spend my entire day hating the Jews. I do block out time for all the things I'm cooking today. I made stuffed peppers, which were banging. I made enough like 4 people, and I ate enough for 2 people, which is fucking. I don't know how. I gotta find a way to make recipes for like single dude recipes. If I wrote that cookbook, I could be fucking rich. Cardi B is bi. She's whatever. Listen, she is whatever they want her to be. You know what I mean? They're all run by some member of the tribe. All of them. They're told what to say, what to do, and you know, that's the way it is. The rappers in the '90s complained. You know, that's like yeah, like I believe in rappers. Like that Tommy Sotomayor, TJ Tommy Sotomayor, black guy on YouTube, but he's like a conservative black, and he says. You can rap about bitches and hoes and shoot people and selling drugs and degrading black people all you want. He's black guy saying this. He says, you know, that's perfectly fine. He says, if you mention a certain group, you get deplatformed and your career ends, you know. So he's hit that. You know, he says, why is it? And he asks, why is it all the popular songs are all about violence and degradation of other people, especially your own people, because he's black, right? And he says, why is that accepted? Why do we accept this? You know, but it's a rhetorical question, obviously. But it's the people who decide what gets on air and what doesn't get on air are people who invert reality. Everything that is good and wholesome and normal is turned on its head. Everything that is degenerate and fucking bad and fucking cancer gets elevated, you know, every time. Oh, fuck. All right, we'll go straight on. Hopefully, this will stay enough bandwidth that I don't know that we can. What else? Resources. I'm trying to reduce my. I'm trying to reduce the amount of resources my computer's using, but I don't know. I literally I don't know what else to have. I have tab open and no other tabs. Is the sound any better, or is it still just bad? Press 1 if the sound is getting better, and press 2 if it's just as bad. I'm not seeing anything in the chat. Is it sound better or worse? Hopefully, I cleared the cache on this 27-year-old laptop, and some of the RAM is freed up to do other things. Yeah, the thing. All right, so that's the thing. Cardi B writes the songs that she's allowed to write and told to write. You know, yeah, she used to drug men and rob them. You know. And that's the weakness of dudes. Jonathan Paul sent me all your Bitcoin. No, I have already sent my Bitcoin to someone in Russia. You can go find them because you speak Russian. They're probably hanging outside Solzhenitsyn's apartment. Sorry, that sounds better. Yeah, that men want sex and women can manipulate them. But the promise of that, you know, is nothing new, right? and yeah, she's drugged in wrong. So this, imagine living that life, okay? And that's a scary life. Whether you, what people, black people say, like they're not afraid of white people, they never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen on the street. So Cardi B does not want to go back to life where she got to go into a club, try and hook some dirty white guy into a potential sexual liaison, and bring him, go to a hotel room with him and and rob him. If it doesn't take a drug, if it doesn't have a good effect, if he figures out what's going on before he passes out, black women are keenly aware of what it's like to fight men and that they're not going to win. So there's always an element of danger there. There's always an element of fear there, and she doesn't want to go back to that. So she will do and say and sing whatever the fuck they want her to. You know what I mean? And if she says, I don't want to sing stuff anymore. I don't want to, I want to be. Now she'll make money. She'll go to a mansion. She'll have a swimming pool. Life will be a lot better for her. And she'll be like, "Hey, I'm not in that street life kind of mode anymore. Here's something else." And they're like, "No, your street is on the line." And that'll be that. Or they may make her, the new fucking Aunt Jemima. Like Aunt Jemima with tattoos and a fucking and a clock or something like that. Who the fuck knows? Like if she can catch on big enough, they'll roll that into anything. They'll find something that they can invert and screw up, and they will make her be ambassador for every vice that they want to promote, and they will present it not as a vice, but of course as a virtue. And this is the world we live in now, where everything that is that's shameful and disgusting is presented as proud and worthy of praise. That's super obvious. There's no denying it. So, and the more of this media you consume, even if you think, well, that's degenerate, you can't let it in, like you can't let it into your head. But a lot of people do, and you're going to interact with those people, and they're going to find your worldview bizarre, and like when BLM just passed a fucking restaurant and says, raise your fist if you think Black Lives Matter, and people at the restaurant are so afraid they just raise their fist like, yay, Black Lives Matter, they're going to demand you. They're going to demand the symbolic, at first symbolic act of submission, and the act of submission will become less and less symbolic and more realistic. So, so that's going to be that, and you'll see that on social media, and you'll go crazy, and you should not worry about that at all, because that's not going to do any good. Not going to do anybody any good. But I guess hopefully my sound is back now. Is my sound back or is my sound not back? I'm going to hold the best of me. I'm not sending you any Bitcoin. You send me Bitcoin. That's, I'm the victim here. I should be, someone should make me whole. I should be like these Wall Street guys who, when they make a bad fucking trade and the fucking bond market tanks and the Federal Reserve goes, oh, here's $3.7 trillion. That way you don't lose a fucking penny. But I don't live that way. I actually make massive fucking mistakes on my own. And then I have to fucking fix them. But fix them I will, because right now, like I said, because of looking at it, borrowed money, I own more than Bitcoin. And Citibank, Citibank is now posting what we call Bitcoin porn, that they're expecting $318,000 Bitcoin by the time next year. And that's Citibank. Now, I've said if you go to that guy, Plan B, that look at this high flow model, $280,000 and $323,000 Bitcoin is what is predicted by 2021, and now Citibank is saying the same thing. So why are they saying that? Because they got nothing else to say. I'm still roboting. I don't know what else to do, guys. Literally, other than I'll write you guys all an email uh, and you can read an extensively long email. Yeah, this must be some kind of federal interference because it's Monday night at almost midnight, and there's no reason for the internet to be this shitty. But anyway, so that's the update. My $68,000 that I got robbed for is now worth $97,000, and by this time next month, I God knows what the fucking figure is going to be. But I will keep you updated, and then you will realize that I really did lose. You'll see a ridiculous amount of money. But I've been going about 57 minutes where we're not fucking streaming. It's crashing here. Whether that is shitty internet, whether that is the federal government throttling me, which is probably me, which I'm pretty sure they're not doing. I mean, if they're throttling me when I have 10 fucking subscribers, that would just be the height of ridiculousness. Anyway, I will let you guys go. I will let you out. I will play music. It will take all the resources in the fucking and the robot will probably be 13 times worse. But thanks for showing up, guys. Let's see. This is so slow. I don't even know. Where's the music? Okay, the music icon has popped up. As soon as I can click the play button, I will play the outro music, and hopefully it won't be too crappy. It's still not showing up. It's still a blue box or a blue box. Oh man, this is boomer tech. This isn't really boomer tech. It's low budget. That's what it is. And I don't have the tech skills. I just don't have the to buy the good stuff. All right, here we go. Good night, everybody.